So this is an unranked match. I'm duo queuing with Wing, who is playing the meta Mesmer build right now. It's the power duelist build. And I'm playing the core power acrobatic sword dagger thief. And if you want the build for that, you can go to my Twitch page, which will be in the description below, where all my builds are. So immediately I swapped to sword dagger this game because the enemy comp has 2 blood scourges, and blood scourges are really tanky and they have a lot of res potential, so I need to have a lot of damage output, which is what sword dagger thief is really good at, because if you just spam 3, it's a lot of damage, and you remove boons, which is really good at debunking or killing bunkers. So during this match, I'm going to explain my rotations a little bit and my decision making and how to play sword dagger thief. So immediately we're going to go far, and they have a weird kind of Deadeye build. Like, he's probably the worst player on their team, but we're going to push into this anyways, and we're going to kill this 2v1. I'm going to immediately go back to middle, and what Wing is going to do is I'm going to tell him to leave portal there and then not full cap it so that we can snowball mid, and by the time that the thief respawns and goes far, we can portal back there, you know, before we die at mid, even though I think we're a little bit too late still, because our pugs are a little bit less suited than I think we're against a 4-man pre-made here, so we're going to need to outplay them a lot harder. And as you see, Wing puts down his portal, but he dies, and I take the portal immediately, porting into it, and I go back, and I'm doing a 2v3 I think here, but they have blood scourges, and they're gonna be able to res that immediately, so I leave that guy who has the full cap, but he's gonna lose that immediately, so there's no reason for me to stay there. I go back to mid, and that's also there's someone there, so I go home, and I 3v1 this Guardian, because there's nothing else I can do here. If I go to mid and try to 1v1 that, I'm doing nothing, so I might as well 3v1. That's the only place I can get any kind of work done, even though it's very low value play. I get the kill, and then I leave them to 2v1 that guy at middle, or at home, and then we're dying around the map as well, and we have a DC, so what I'm doing is kind of looking around for opportunities. I'm not really committing too much to anything here, so I'm just trying to like kind of split them up and see where I can get a kill or something. Not really gonna invest too much. So I get the decap far. I'm gonna have Wing full cap that, because he can portal it, and then we can 2v1 something else. So there's a Scourge here, and it's a blood Scourge, which means I can easily pressure it. So I put my sword 2 untargeted right there, because I know I want to steal in with the sword 3 to do the maximum damage, while also putting my sword 2 return out of combat, so I can sword 2 back when he used a lot of his cooldowns. And there's a Deadeye shooting from on top of the ledge, so I have to line of sight here, but I trust Wing to finish off the Necro. And here there's a little issue with how the port works. Or no, this is fine. I stealed him, so we get the kill on him. But you'll see later there's some issues with sword 2 porting on that spot. And here I see the Guardian's gonna get the decap immediately anyways, so there's no point for me to rush into that. I can just wait for me to get out of combat and gain an extra 6 health while he gains really nothing, because he's already got the decap. And so we're gonna 2v1 this as well. We don't go for the node, because we know that if we go for the node, then our team is gonna die elsewhere, because this Guardian is gonna rotate there. So we need to get this kill, and I take a lot of pressure from this core Guardian, because they do a lot of cleave even when they're not focusing you. So I have to reset here, and I go just out of combat range, and I port back in, because I know it's the fastest way to get in and out of combat, is to go out of range and then port back in, even though you're still in combat. Here we're just gonna focus the Guardian here, because I think he's low on cooldowns anyways, but he does have a blood scourge near him. So what I need to do is save my steal, or at least one of my steals, for that. Just pressuring the Deadeye. This is a really good spot for their Deadeye because he can just he just moves over there, and you can see I can't really sword 2 to him because it goes below him. So middle is not really winnable right now, but we're just gonna stay anyways, I think, because we want to take this 2v2. It's probably it's a 2v3, but it's probably a bad 2v2 as well. But we're gonna get this kill probably still. No, the Deadeye is actually, he's kiting pretty decently, but I have enough chase to get the kill there. They have a blood scourge though, and I think he got an obstructed res there, so he didn't get the transfuse. And now I'm just gonna pressure this necro. I see that Wing is on a different target though. My Mesmer is, you don't want to split your damage ever, because Thief and Mesmer, well, Mesmer probably has pretty good DPS, but Thief doesn't really have good DPS at all, so we want to stay on the same target. We don't want to be doing 2 separate 1v1s. We want to be doing a 2v2 where we avoid one person, but we focus another. So it's sort of like a 2v1 where we just try to evade the other person, right? And so we get the kill here on the Scourge, which is probably the best target because the Scourge can just res the Guardian. And now, yeah, I'm going to have some issues here porting up to this guy again. Probably. The Guardian gets a pull on me and I dodge out. Still on the Deadeye. Okay, he's dead. As you can see, they're still kind of like losing home. Like they're really not doing anything at home. Like they're fighting on the enemy node, so they're kind of like getting spawn camped. But what we need to do is just keep pressuring them at middle, I think, because we own far. If we push into home, it's a little bit greedy here. As you can see, like I see 1, 2, 3 people on this side of the map. There's absolutely no reason to be greedy here and push for a third node. Even though that's, if you look at the score right now, that's kind of what we need to do. But it's still a losing play for me to push a third node. I want to like +1 elsewhere and snowball the map. And then when we're in a better situation, like after we 2v1 this right here, we can maybe snowball into far. Or rather, that's our home. So I look for a decap here. I think I get this. Yeah, because they're fighting off node, which is perfect for us because then we get the decap now. And I see that there is... my teammate is dead off node, and I don't really want to 1v1 a Scourge. So I asked for a target here. I'm playing very, very ungreedy here. I'm not fighting the Scourge. I'm looking for more kills with my team to focus down in the fights. And we get the Scourge down because I got a target for my teammate. And now I play a little bit greedy because I see that he's going for the decap, and I figure I'll stand on it until I can, get some support. But, I take a lot of pressure for that. So that was sort of a greedy play. But that's kind of like the result of a non-greedy snowball. Like, as soon as you get the snowball going, then you can play greedy. But it didn't really work out for me. So we need to keep, going for kills here. And as you can see on the mini-map, there's a down state symbol. So you know that the Thief is down, and he actually ported up to the ledge. So I'm going to leave my Necro. Like, there's about 4 people mid. I don't need to, watch that. My teammates can watch that. And as you can see, the Mesmer ported back to mid. So I shouldn't stay here and try to 1v1 the Necro because it's on his node. He's going to hold the node for long enough that it's not going to be worth. I need to keep snowballing. So I'm going to go back to mid, and the Mesmer stealths right before I sword too. So I have to waste Shadow Step here to get the kill. But nonetheless, I get the kill. And we keep snowballing here. I go to far, and I see that the node is almost being decapped. So I play greedy again. But I think we can do this because... we do have an advantage here. I think it's 3v3, but we do have an advantage, so I try to keep the node. If we lose the node and it's near their spawn, it's actually worth more than if it's our node because it takes longer for them to get to our node than it does to get to their node. So when we get decapped, it's easier for them to hold their home node in a decap state, right? So it's more value to hold the full cap on a far node. So I played greedily here again, trying to hold the node because it's a 2v1 versus an Necro. So I lose a lot of my cooldowns. I should have just poked like I normally would play versus Necro instead of play super greedy like that. So I have to reset. But I go back in since we're outnumbering so heavily, and we get the kill, I believe. And I use steal here, and I think I have a second steal, right? Yeah, I should have a second steal. So I can use the second steal on the Rezzing Scourge so that he can't get the value from his blood. And we snowball this again. So the Guardian actually one-shots me here. And yeah, I think they rally off of that because I had no health, no cooldowns. So that was actually pretty bad. We lost a lot of our momentum there. But the good thing is that I got cleaved out instantly. So I'm going to respawn. And I'm going to go probably... We're dying mid, so I'll probably go to clean up if it's possible. But I might go to far. Yeah, it looks like I'm staying because the Guardian's really low on cooldowns. So, yeah. Wing is on me, but they have 2 Blood Scourges rezzing, so it was probably best for me to go far in this situation because it's a losing team fight already. We had 1 Necro dead when we came in. Our other Guardian is dead now, so I just go far, go for the decap, and we... from here are actually in a good position because the score's a little bit even and we're fighting on... Oh, we're losing home now, but that just means we need to snowball more. So I leave my sword 2 untargeted so that I can steal in with sword 3. If you steal in with sword 2, they're going to be able to dodge your sword 3 immediately because they'll react, right? So I leave my sword 2 there so I can sword 2 back, which is like a pretty like low value play, but it's a very high burst play. So, well, it's more bursty than stealing in with sword 2, but less bursty than just not putting your sword 2 there in the first place. But right, it's sort of like an in between. So I go for the res here, and I know I think that's a Condimez because I'm getting torment. So I think I can get the res because I have resistance. So I get this res, yeah. They're playing a little bit ungreedy here. Or rather, they go for the node instead of the kill. So I get that res, which is pretty bad. We have the target again on the Scourge. And we can get an easy focus here. But Wing goes down, so what I do is I port in stealth before he can fear me, and I go for the stomp. This is the only winning play here because I will never be able to res... in a 2v3, so the stomp is the absolute play there, and I get it because Wing just barely survives, and we get all the kills here because Wing basically gets all the aggro while I kill everything. So we have home, we have mid, we have far, so we have a 3 cap, and I tell Wing to stay here because I know he has a portal. I see that a Necro is probably going towards home because that's their only chance of winning. If they win home, then well, if they win any node, they win, right? So we need to get this Necro away from a node, right? We need to assault him in roads, or he'll get to a node, force people off of it, and get the full cap. So I know that Wing is going to hold this for long enough, but he's 1v3. So what I do here is I try to survive completely. We just need to survive. So I fear as much as I can. Just need to CC, and then I realize Wing is gonna die. So he dies on the node, which is perfect, and I don't need to even go near the node until he's full dead state because he's contesting it. You don't need 2 people to contest it. So I go on immediately after, and I have all my cooldowns off because I wasn't sitting on the node, and we stall it long enough. So that's kind of how you want to rotate as Sword Dagger Thief. You never really want to take even fights too much. You're kind of creating rotations like a DP thief would, except the difference is sword dagger thief is a little bit more survivable, and it's much better DPS, so it's better at killing tankier comps such as firebrand scourges. DP is better at killing ranger, but warriors it's better at. Like the tanky Mesmer builds, any kind of boon build, sword dagger thief is better at countering. So you still want to play very +1 oriented as sword dagger thief, but if you want more videos like this, just subscribe, and in my next video I will show how to rotate as dagger pistol daredevil. See you then.